Londra'dan merhabalar. Brand Week İstanbul öncesi Mullenlow Group ofisindeyiz. Londra'da hayatın yavaş yavaş normale dönmesiyle beraber bu tarz minik sohbetleri sizinle buluşturmayı hedefliyoruz. Bugünkü konuğumuz Mullenlow Group CCO'su Jose Miguel Sokolov. Hi Jose Miguel, how are you?
Hi.
Thanks so much for taking the time to meet with us today. We're so excited to have you back in Istanbul because the last time we were together was in 2014 when you spoke at the Brand Week Istanbul stage, and you talked about the campaign you ran with the Colombian government to demobilize FARC guerrillas.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel like it was a long time ago, but the world definitely feels a lot different now. How do you think the advertising industry has changed in the meantime?
I think the advertising industry changes all the time because the way we deliver our messages changes permanently. And at the speed that technology is going, it's always evolving. In 2014, we would never have imagined that there was a thing like TikTok. I mean, we would never have thought that that was something. And Instagram was an application you use to try to make your photos look interesting because all digital photos were the same. But now it's become a thing, and Instagram stories, and who knows what will happen in 2 years. Maybe only the old people like me will be stuck on TikTok, and people will have moved on to something completely different. So it's moving so quickly. But I think in essence, delivering a message to try to change some behavior and to make people, or to help people, or to nudge people to do something differently hasn't changed, and we as humans have not changed that much. We're still very emotional. We still get scared very easily. We still fall in love. We still hate and have opinions and all the basic things that make us human, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and I guess a good campaign has to follow it takes its insight from society, and it follows the societal discourse and sometimes addresses it. But like you said, we're living in such rapidly changing environment. So how do you think agencies can keep up with the current trends and have their pulse in the sort of the societal discourse in such a rapidly changing environment?
I think if you want to always be where things are, agencies need to stay young. Need to stay young with the people that they hire. They need to stay young in spirit. They need to always be be open to any new idea, open-mindedness. I say that a mind works exactly like a parachute. It's a lot better when it's open, right? So keeping an open mind all the time, and I think we have to admit and we have to embrace, I think agencies and creative businesses have to embrace that our job is not to reflect society anymore. We are not mirrors. We should be doors. We should open possibilities. If we're reflecting what's going on, we're too late. If we're opening doors of possibilities, we're doing our job in an interesting way.
And I guess that comes with its own challenges to make sure you don't open the wrong doors. Moving forward, what do you think the biggest challenges the industry will have to face?
I don't agree with you. I think it's okay to open the wrong doors.
Okay.
I think it's excellent that we realize that communications is a dynamic thing and that we can make mistakes and that we need to learn from them. I think what is disastrous to organizations is when organizations get together when they have done something wrong, and everybody is there to prove that everything they did was right, as opposed to saying, I understand that the result is not good, I understand that we were not, so let's focus on what we could have done better. what we didn't do right. And that is the way organizations learn, and that is the way communications learns. So I think this approach that we have towards communications, which is we cannot get it wrong ever, is hindering us, is holding us back, because we're making communication that is safer and safer and safer, and therefore more the same, more of the same, more of the same, and more forgettable. I think we have to venture into things, and it's okay to get things wrong, because if you get it wrong, really nothing happens. But if you get it right, a lot happens.
I guess the best example of that was during the pandemic, when almost every piece of communication had the same message, the same execution. But do you think maybe brands are more hesitant towards being brave because they don't think the consumers will forgive them, even if they apologize?
I think one thing is being destructive and being. I think one thing is being controversial in a good way, and it's very close to being controversial in a bad way. I think we have to be careful of how we say things and the sort of things we say. And we have to be careful and mindful and respectful of the people that are listening to our messages. But I don't think we can be completely bland and boring. There is the way the world is reacting to communications is wrong. I don't know if you remember, probably this is, but remember in the time of before Twitter and these things, that if you were going to give guitar lessons, you said guitar lessons, and then you had a little telephone number that you ripped off, right? And so you took the telephone number for the guitar lessons and you called, right? That is the way communication should work. So if you're interested in guitar lessons, then you interact with that poster and you take off that little number and you take it with you, right? What is happening today is that we're afraid of somebody walking up to that thing and saying, "I hate guitars." Well, it's not for you if you hate guitars. Walk away, keep going. But we're scared, and somebody in a focus group says, "Yeah, that's right, but I hate guitars." And then we say, "No, we can't do that." And that's wrong.
Well, finally, this year at Brand Week Istanbul, which you kind of touched upon, but we're going to try to explore what it means to be human in the 21st century. Do you have any thoughts or ideas on that?
I think being human in the 21st century and in all the centuries before and in all the centuries after is about being alive. But not surviving, it's being alive. Being human is about feeding your mind as much as you feed your body. Being human is about enjoying enjoying the experiences life offers you as much as enjoying the physical things like offers you, like food, like air, like climate, like weather, like all these physical things. And also being human is about understanding that life is not easy. And if we want to take life for granted and make it easy, we're going to have a miserable life and try to become robots and just do what is easy. And life is not meant to be easy. Life is a struggle. It's a struggle for a plant, it's a struggle for a bee, and it has to be a struggle for us, and that is why it's so marvelous.
Excellent. Thank you so much, and can't wait to see you in Istanbul in November.
Thank you. Thank you for coming here, and thank you for these excellent questions.
Awesome. Thank you.